Hi, how are you? I'm back with another speed build and I'm quite excited about this one. I enjoyed building it mostly because it's inspired by a character that I had in my mind for quite a while now. And this is going to be a house that I imagine she would live in. This is how I normally play The Sims. I know that there are people who make their sim selves, or they will make their friends into sims, or their boyfriends, their crushes, etc. And there are people who just make up characters, and I'm one of them. If you are somehow watching this video, tell me, how do you play if you play The Sims? Because you might have another way of playing, and I don't know, that's quite interesting. But my character, she's an aging, no longer relevant actress that became ostracized by society and by the movie industry. She is the persona non grata of Hollywood, essentially. And yeah, she is eccentric. I imagine she has histrionic personality disorder. If you don't know what that is, people with histrionic personality disorder seek attention excessively. They can become very dramatic, theatrical even, just to get it. Their gestures can be very dramatic. They can make up stories or problems just to be in the center of attention because they don't feel comfortable if they're not. In an extreme way, because we can all be like that sometimes. They can be very sexual, very seductive at inappropriate times often. They can dress very provocatively or very boldly. They can be very eccentric in how they choose to dress themselves. And they're basically always very focused on how much attention they're getting and how other people are perceiving them. They can display exaggerated emotions that are shallow at the same time. And it's just a very exhausting way to live, but quite interesting to watch from the outside, in my opinion. And you can see how problematic she could be if she has all those attention-seeking issues. She could say a lot of controversial things. Yeah, and she's not very nice either. I would say her reputation is deserved to some degree. However, she's an amazing, very talented actress. She's an amazing painter. And it's been quite a while since all of this happened, since her wildest days. And she's older now. I would imagine she's in her 50s. And she's more stable. However, sadly, her career and her social status never recovered. And she just doesn't have many friends, and she became irrelevant and forgotten. It's a little bit of a sad story, really. And since we're playing The Sims 4, The Sims in general, I thought that she is going to be a member of the Goth family. I would imagine she is Mortimer's cousin. She has quite a bit of money. She's quite wealthy, partially because her family is wealthy, and partially because I would imagine she is the type of woman who would marry a rich husband and then have him disappear in mysterious circumstances. Her name is Elisabeth Goth, and she is still beautiful, and she's an interesting and a fabulous sim. And if I was to play with her, which I might, her storyline would be about her trying to become relevant again, and maybe to try and find another rich husband. I love that poodle. That's actually another thing I've envisioned her being into, topiary, which is the art of clipping bushes into shapes. It's quite snobby. And of course she's going to have poodles and she's going to be absolutely obsessed with them. I personally love poodles. I think they're quite iconic. And my first dog, my childhood dog, was a white poodle. And his name was West, but we called him Vest because it was the 90s in Poland, which is where I'm from. And Vest was really lovely. And he was gay, actually. There was this another male dog that would come around where my house was, and they would make sweet love to each other. Yeah, that's Vest for you. He was a very, very good boy. We had him for quite a while. We had him since I was 6 years old till I was 18 years old. So I pretty much grew up with him. I've put avocado trees there, which is funny to me because my best friend and I have a lot of inside jokes about how we both hate avocados. We both don't like them very much. But how are you in those surreal, strange times of a global pandemic? I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's everywhere and we're all literally sick of it. I can't confirm it because we haven't been tested, but I think we have it in my house. I'm the last one with it. My household members had it and then I started showing symptoms a week later. It started with nausea and headache, and then slight trouble breathing. I'm on day 10th. So far it's been mild for all of us. And you know, day 10th, there's still some uncertainty there. But I hope it will be okay. We gotta stay positive. I'm drinking my beetroot juice. You should try it. I'm not a huge fan of the taste, but it's very, very good for you. It's loaded with antioxidants. It dilates your blood vessels. It lowers your blood pressure. It aids your liver. It's basically like a kiss for you. But I hope you're okay. And if you're not alone. Loads of people are going through it right now. And yeah, we're gonna be okay. What I'm building here is sort of like a garden within a garden. And I'm pretty sure Sims can't get through that arch there because it's a sculpture. But anyway, I wanted this area to be a place of worship for Elisabeth because I could definitely picture her being a part of some sort of niche, slightly creepy religion, like a cult of some sort of goddess or goddesses. And perhaps it is one of the reasons why she became ostracized by society in the past, because a lot of people who held different religious beliefs were and still are very much till this day. And I also wanted that area to be where she gets her creative juices flowing, where she paints. I would imagine her drawing a lot of inspiration from her beliefs. Although, with a person like her, I'm not exactly sure if she would take it seriously or would it just be for attention. But I guess it could be gratifying for her in both ways, actually. Now we are in the furnishing part of the video, and as you can already tell, this house is going to be quite extra. It's not my personal style. I would not have a golden bed. But Elisabeth would. She would. I wanted those sculptures to be present here and there in the house and vaguely threatening. I feel like humans have this thing with sculptures where if you don't know what it is, but you can maybe recognize that it's religious, it just makes us uncomfortable and a little bit unsafe even for some people, I would say. Imagine inviting your Tinder date into a bedroom with sculptures. I bet they would be telling their friends about it and saying how they got a weird vibe, don't you think? This master bedroom is going to have an open ensuite. This is actually the only bedroom in the house. But if you've seen my previous video, you might notice a pattern here. I just really like the idea of having an open ensuite. There's just something about it that's so iconic, and it's also kind of sexy. I just really like that. I started furnishing this house a little bit weirdly because I started from the top floor, which is the second floor. That might be a little bit confusing because I know it's measured in different ways in different countries. I don't know how it works in all the countries, but I know that both in Poland and in England you start from the ground floor and then you go up to the first floor and the second floor, etc. But in America you start from the first floor, which actually makes more sense to me. It's less complicated and it leaves less room for errors, which we all make sometimes, because we are all a little bit dumb sometimes. There's quite a lot of noise around me. I think luckily my mic is not picking it up, but there is quite a lot of noise around me. I can hear cars, people having fun, which is interesting because we are all supposed to be in quarantine, miserable. Stop it. Stop having fun immediately. Speaking of my microphone, I know that there is quite a lot of static noise in my audio, and I'm not sure what's doing it. It's either my laptop or my microphone, but I'm planning to change both in the future, so hopefully I'll get rid of it. I could edit it out probably, but I don't know how to do it yet. I like that the bathroom mirror lights up. I think it's very fitting for Elisabeth. She would probably spend a lot of time in front of a mirror, either just looking at herself or practicing acting and just, being dramatic and theatrical. I don't think she does a lot in this house in terms of cooking or cleaning. She hires people to do it for her. As you can see, you have to go through her wardrobe to get into her bedroom. In the wardrobe, she keeps her clothes, of course, and also costumes from when she was still a relevant actress. I'm so ready to move out of where I live currently. You have no idea. I live in a small town in England, and I don't like it at all. And I think the problem mostly lies in the small town part. I really dislike small towns. I feel like if you live in a small town, you are given the worst of both worlds. and then some. Because if you live in a big city, yeah, you have air pollution and you have a lot of people and a lot of noise, but there's a lot of fun to be had there. Like, you can order delicious, interesting food. You can go to a club, to a pub, to a museum, to a concert, to a theatre. If you want to buy something even, it's so much easier. You can meet people easier as well. And then if you live in the middle of nowhere, everything is harder to access, and if you don't have any houses around, you can be quite vulnerable because of that. But it's quiet, it smells beautiful, nature all around you, like it's heavenly. And in small towns, you still have a lot of people that know you and are interested in what you're doing. There's still air pollution. In my hometown in winter, I couldn't even open a window a lot of the times because I would just smell my neighbor's chimney. The insides of it, I mean. And there's nothing there in small towns. Where I live right now, there isn't even a proper hospital. You have to go to a different town, even though there's 80,000 people here annoying me every day. I also couldn't find a gynecologist. If you want to go to therapy, it's a problem as well. I mean, there are therapists here, but you know, the selection is smaller, so it's harder to find the right one. I'm basically ready to get out of here, and I don't know where I'm going to go yet, which feels exciting. But I'm probably going to go back to Poland. I was also thinking of Germany, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm finishing the living room here. It's more like a casual living room where Elisabeth has a big TV and watches movies with her poodles. And this is probably a picture of her on the wall, of her in the past. I like the idea of that. And the guest bathroom where we have my favorite tiles on the walls. There are 2 floors left to furnish after this bathroom. There is a dining area and a more of like an official living room downstairs. And there's also a basement where we have the kitchen and the laundry room. As I said, I don't imagine Elisabeth cooking much. She's a diva. She has people cooking for her. This living room is the most Goth family-like out of this house. I think. And you know what I think? Speaking of Goth family, I think Elisabeth and Bella don't like each other very much. I think they might be talking smack about each other. And Bella is probably winning because she has better social status, and you know, people probably badmouth Elisabeth without Bella's help. Yeah, they probably love to talk about her, negatively of course. Alright then, I'll leave you to the music, which actually reminds me of Twin Peaks soundtrack. And And yeah, I'll leave you to it, and I'll include the pictures of everything at the end of the video, and I hope to see you later. Bye!